Hello, this is Ron Kemp, Food Pantry Director at St. Paul's. As most of you know, we're moving to a laptop pantry management software program that's cloud-based, meaning we'll be using our laptops connected through the church's Wi-Fi to the client data that's now going to be stored on servers in the cloud. It's going to take a bit of learning for all of us, but I'm sure we'll be happy to stop lugging those binders and recording everything by hand and having to create new records for hundreds of clients every year. Everything will be on a computer now, backed up and readily accessible, yet secure. In the next few minutes, we'll walk through the process from beginning to end. A printed guide will be available to everyone working on the reception side, and this video will be available for you to review as often as you like. It might seem a little intimidating at first, but this software was designed by members of a church pantry for their own use, and they've done a great job of making it as user-friendly as possible. So let's begin. Before each pantry session, a little setup has to be done. Beginning in the church office where Margaret has found us a space. Everything we need for a pantry session on the client reception side is here on this rolling cart. We have 2 laptop Windows computers, 2 mini iPads, and for now, our backup binders and miscellaneous supplies. Just unplug the single power cord and move the entire cart into the choir room, or now the food pantry reception area. Simply unplug the 2 laptop computers and the 2 iPads and place them on the white table. The laptops, the iPads, and a mouse for each laptop are all labeled 1 and 2, and they should stay together. Open the laptop and press the on-off button. Press the power button on the iPad if it needs it, and hold it for a couple of seconds until you see the home screen. If it says swipe to unlock, then swipe it and unlock it. On the laptop, double-click on the shortcut Pantry Login. The login screen will appear, defaulting to the last volunteer who used this laptop. Enter your username, which is your first initial and your last name as one word, and enter your password. You're now at the dashboard and we're almost ready. You only have to do one more thing here before we're all connected, and that's to connect this device to the iPad. The iPad is where the clients sign, and it has to be connected one time for each session, and that's all. Up in the corner, there's your cursor, you'll see Connect Device. Then you'll see a screen, and it's looking for a code. On the iPad, you should be at the home screen. If not, press the button on the bottom of the iPad. Look for the pantry icon, click on it, and this screen will appear with a 4-digit code automatically. Type this code into your Windows screen and click on Pair Device. Screen on the iPad will now say Waiting for Signature Request. Back on the dashboard, you're ready for your first client, or as Food Bank Manager prefers, your first guest. Click on the New Visit tab, and this screen will appear. There are only 2 options: search for a returning client or create a new guest. Let's take these one at a time. Your client tells you that his last name is Test Guest. It's Larry Test Guest. I put some fake guests into our database, and any new ones that you create in practice, please give them the last name Test Guest so I can remove them and they won't clutter up our actual database and throw our reports off. Put your cursor in the search field. The colored rows down below tell you what you're actually searching. Right now we're searching in the last name field. In this search box, you use tab to move from field to field and to start your search. The tab key, not the enter key. If I hit the tab key, I go over to first name, I go to address, apartment, date of birth. We could search by any of those, but more logically, we're going to be searching by last name. So I'm going to backspace and take these out. So we're searching by last name. So, Mr. Test Guest, let's assume that I misunderstood and I thought he was Tess Guest followed by the tab key. Well, there are no records because that's not his name. So I will back up with the backup key. It's better probably to only put in the first 3 letters, possibly 4 letters of a name, because the spellings could be different. They could have been entered wrong in the database. So let's just put in TES and then hit the tab key. That gives us all of the Test Guest family, which is fine. It would also give us any other name that happened to have TES in it, but we can work around that. We know that our client is Larry Test Guest. So let's click on Larry Test Guest. Now, we get an error message. Our error message tells us that an outreach must be selected. I knew that was going to happen because it happens every time. This is a requirement in the software. Right up here, you have to select an outreach. So we'll go back here. We only have 2 outreaches. The software is designed for churches or organizations that might have 20, 30 different outreaches. We only have 2, but we have to select one. One is our regular pantry day, and the other is special needs when someone comes for emergency food. So we select pantry day, and again, we put in our letters, and we're back to where we were. Test. So now we open Larry. We see that Larry is indeed Larry Test Guest. At this point, if we want to check any of the information, you might want to verify if we've included the nationality, race, gender, phone number. If any of that's missing, this is the time to click on Edit Guest right here and add this information. In the weeks ahead, we're going to begin collecting demographic information for each of the people in the residence. So it'll be required one time only to indicate who these 3 people are, their first name, their age, their gender, their ethnicity. So it'll be stored with Larry Test Guest, and it'll always be generated when we need it for our demographic reports. Some of you might remember that we've been doing those twice a year. We'll never have to do these again. They'll always be here. And as the people within the family get older, the ages will change so that our reports are always accurate. There's nothing else we want to change, so let's just save Larry. It takes us back to the same screen. We've saved the information, but we still haven't created a new visit. So we create a new visit. It shows us the same information, The help desired is food. This is automatically pre-checked by the system because we don't offer anything else. In the future, if we were to offer clothing or something else in addition to food, we might have some options here. For now, the system pre-checks that for you. You'll notice that it says there are two signatures out of date. One is the agency representative, that's you. And the other is the test guest, Larry. It's because he hasn't signed for his food this week. You'll only have to enter your signature one time in a calendar year. But since you haven't entered it, we're going to request your signature. Click on it here. Request for it will appear on the iPad. You simply sign on the iPad, tap accept, and it'll appear here, and we accept it, and it's stored forever, or at least till the end of the year, right here. Now, you'll only have to do that one time for a calendar year. It's not something you do every week, as long as it's there, and you can always change it if you want to change your signature. But back to Larry, we have to request Larry's signature. Larry will get this screen. This is the TFAP information, the very same information that's on the forms that they've signed in the past. You should advise them of this until they're used to working on these computer screens. On the table with you will be a laminated copy in English and a laminated copy in Spanish. If they'd like to review this information, encourage them to, give them plenty of time. They can scroll down and be sure they know what they're signing, that they're qualified to get this food, and they are truthfully reporting this information on a government document. Then they tap accept, and they'll get a screen where they can sign their name, tap accept, and it'll appear back on your screen. You accept it. Now it's part of the record. We have completed everything we need to do for this visit because this is a simple one. We'll save the visit. There are no other people connected with Larry. We'll deal with that in the next video. So we're done. We click done, and we're back ready for the next person. You hand Larry his household number, just as we've all done in the past, and he'll go next door and pick up his food. That's it for this part. We'll talk about a few more things in the next video.